everybody, and welcome back to the Sideline Eye podcast. You're very welcome to our preview show, and we're looking ahead to the Junior Championship quarterfinals coming up this weekend. There's four games across Saturday and Sunday. I'm delighted to be joined by Mark Beattie, and he's going to help me preview all the games. But before we get into the Junior Championship, Mark, there's a massive game also this Saturday coming up. The Armagh Masters are in an All-Ireland final. They're playing Limerick in Roscommon on Saturday, so obviously a big game for you all.
Absolutely. It's the biggest game of the weekend. That's the big one. Yeah, no, we can't wait. It's been, 3 or 4 months of good hard work, training and stuff, and a lot of crack along the way. So and we've got that final of it. Maybe not at the level we wanted to be at, but it's still a final after all. So we're all looking forward to it, and it'll be a good day out now with the football and the entertainment afterwards, I'm sure as well. So yeah, looking forward to it.
And there's different grades to it. So I'm not sure what grade you are, but the top grade is Tyrone and Kerry,
Yeah.
and their user curtain raiser for them. They're on off to use. So you play Limerick, and then Tyrone and Kerry. It's the big game, and like
Yeah.
I'm sure there's going to be a bit of a rivalry in that one too.
Yeah, I'd say so. That would be a lot of players from the sort of 2000s, early 2000s that were playing on both teams. They're all playing for Carry On, playing for Tyrone, so there'll definitely be a bit of bite to that game. Yeah, there's different levels, and it's Armagh's first year, so they've got it up and running, and there's been 30-40 boys training from a way back February time. I think I joined it in around April, May time, and it's been fantastic. Like there's no question about it. I think for all the fellas that organized it and got it all going and set up, and a lot of guys, with gear and everything that people have sponsored and all, it's fair play to them all. But the different levels that it's at. Armagh's maybe a year or two away from that. It'll take a bit of time to get that level. Now after Tyrone and Kerry and a couple of other teams, maybe Galway, Dublin, the rest is probably at a fairly round the same level. Right down to there's 4 or 5 teams was eliminated, and then the rest get split up into different competitions. So, but I think that sort of group from the bottom nearly up the top, off minus the top 4 or 5, would be all around the same level. And because all games we played, if we won, we only won by a point or two. If we got beat, we only beat by a point or two. So we slipped into one of the lower levels. But listen, it's competitive. It's good crack, and it keeps the boys fit and active as well. So no, it's been very enjoyable now for me personally. I have really enjoyed it. And the other game that Kerry and Tyrone will definitely. It would be a good game for anyone to watch. It's there. We've played Tyrone earlier in the year, and they gave us a real beating. That was the only team that gave us a bit of a beating. But when you've like about 9 or 10 All-Ireland winners in the team, not just the people with medals, like you're looking at the Sean Cavendys, the Stephen O'Neills, the Conor Gormleys, Martin Penrose. They even brought in Marty McGrath from Fermanagh to make them even stronger. So it's that's the level that they're at. Well, we're not quite at that level, but hopefully in the next year or two, we will see a few stronger sort of players coming in, making us a bit stronger.
And these are all made up. There's a massive range of clubs made up in the Armagh Masters team. Mark, I'd say maybe every club has at least one player involved or doing something.
Yeah, no, there is. It's a lot of it. Mostly would be made up of a lot of mid Armagh clubs would be there. Your Ballymacnabs, your Maddens. Harps, Oaks, yeah, they would have a right few now. South Armagh, you have your Cullyhanna and different clubs there have all got representatives there. It's just the Lurgan ones that I think we're going to have to push a wee bit more to get involved, but that's all in process at the moment. So, yeah, no, there's been a wide range of clubs in it, and getting to know fellas, that you would have played against, that over the years, and realizing they're not as bad of fellas that you thought when you were playing against them, and hopefully they're thinking the same about me. But yeah, so we've definitely we've enjoyed it, we've embraced it, and we've enjoyed the after match socializing as well. So it's been a real plus.
That's the main thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
I suppose that's the Masters on Saturday, and it's in Roscommon, so there's a lot of travelling fees
Yeah.
to do as well. But maybe just take a couple of crates of beer, and that'll make the journey home a wee bit easier.
Or maybe even
Um,
before we get there.
so that's Saturday. The Junior Championship quarterfinals are on this weekend as well, Mark. Two games on Saturday, both in Silverbridge. Throw-in times of 3 and 5:15, I think, on Saturday evening, both live on Armagh TV as well. So we'll start with Clonmore seconds against Cleavey seconds. Obviously, Cleavey seconds, or sorry, Clonmore seconds really well. They're going well, good top the group. Mark, and I think just going by their program, the team listed in the program, they have a great mix of youth and experience. There's a couple of young boys coming through catching the eyes, but then you have the likes of Connor Bale, a senior championship winner from a few years ago. He's in it too.
Yeah. No, it was just at the start of the year, they knew the numbers with the senior team that this was maybe time had about 10 years ago, and it just didn't work out at that time. But this time we sort of felt that we were strong enough and we had big enough numbers to go ahead with it. They went ahead with it, and it's been a massive success, absolute brilliant success all around. They have been training with the senior team, but in the last few weeks now, they've started to maybe prepare better for the junior and for the senior. Still think training together, but they have their own wee sessions as well. Yeah, the big thing was, I think we had so many young players, but they did need people to sort of put it all together. And with Connor Bale coming back has been a massive plus to them. And even, throughout the league, he building up his fitness, but I've been at the couple of championship games to date, and he's been a massive player for us now. Also, Sean Corey, who would have been a goalkeeper back in the day, but he's playing outfield, and he also has been a real plus. And we've had a few players there that were involved with the senior team throughout the year. Johnny Trode, James French, fellas like that. A wee bit more experience, just that wee bit older, and they've came down in the junior championship at the moment. And they've added a real boost it. But the big plus is given the likes of Ethan McKenna, Rogie McVeigh, Matthew McKelly, Michael McKelly, these type of players who mightn't have just got as much football as with the squad that we have at senior level. And plus we hadn't the confidence in the B team, in the B league, because there was always games getting called off. So this has given them a real meaningful league, and now building into the championship, and they're actually, to me, they've been getting stronger and stronger as the years went on. And yeah, they're definitely in a good place now going into Saturday.
And then Cleavey, I suppose they, just seeing them, I'd seen them live. They beat Newtown the first round, I think. I was at that game, or second round actually, because Clonmore beat them the first round. But I was well impressed with them. A couple of really good young footballers as well. Just seeing their score last week, Mark, they put 3-18 up against Darcy, who would be fairly experienced championship team at this stage. So, putting up a score like that, it's eye catching.
Yeah, when you're putting that sort of score up, you have to be worried about them. There's definitely good players in round. The same again. I think Cleavey's very similar to themselves. They have a lot of numbers. They have always had it over the years. Clonmore did beat them in the league, and Cleavey, there was both teams had a victory each. So they'll know each other. Sometimes you just with the seconds, you see we would have a few players coming back in there as well come championship, and I'm sure Cleavey's the same. So it all depends. And by the looks of things, Cleavey have definitely strengthened coming into the championship. So Clonmore would be wary of that there, and knowing that they are going to be slightly stronger from one of the league games that we played them. Now we would give them a right beating in one of the games. So but that we know there's going to be a different Cleavey coming out on Saturday. So Clonmore will be up against it at the weekend, but they'll be still fairly confident, going into the game like.
We'll throw our predictions out here as well, Mark, as we usually do. I think I have not seen Clonmore. I think just going by their team sheet, they look fairly strong and fairly impressive. So I would probably give them the nod to get the job done. But as you say, it could be a ding-dong battle.
Yeah, it should be, but yeah, I'll have to go with Clonmore. Like.
You have no choice.
I have no choice. No, I'll be fairly confident of them. I'll be fairly confident.
And then on Saturday, that's the first game. And then I think it's 5:15 is the second game. We have Crenchco and Thomas Davis up against St Michael's Newtown. Thomas Davis were probably the surprise package in the junior championship. They beat Ballyhagen in the first round. and I was at that game. They were well deserving of that victory too, and they went unbeaten in the groups. They beat Newtown, they drew with Darcy, and beat Mullabrack, so they got straight through to the quarterfinals. Obviously, Newtown just had a slow start. They had two defeats to Clonmore and Cleavey seconds in the group stages, but they bounced back and beat Armagh last week. So I suppose you have Thomas Davis coming in off three good wins. They have momentum from the fact that they haven't been beaten yet. But you have Newtown that are bouncing back from a couple of defeats with a good win last week. So both teams are in a good place.
Yeah, well, I'd seen Thomas Davis playing. We played them in the field, just one of the last games of the season, maybe the second last game of the season, and you know, I was I was impressed. I was impressed by their work rate. I was, real intensity they brought to the game. We got out of it with a couple of point win in the end. But they put Clonmore into the pin of their colours. There's no question about it. And since they've come into the championship, they've nasty up to the game to get the victories they got. So you'd have to be impressed by them, and they're bound to be full of confidence. When you're coming in leading top in the group. Newtown, on the other hand, I've been talking to a few guys that were involved with Newtown, and weren't impressed at the early stages there. Definitely, I think it was our Rogue or no, it was, I can't remember.
Cleavey seconds beat them well.
Cleavey seconds beat them well, and they were really down about that, and they didn't know where they were going from this. But they've come back out fighting, and knowing Newtown over the years, there is always a bit of fight in them, and they've definitely responded a lot. That was a massive result to get the win against our Rogue. Our Rogue definitely believed they were going to win that game. They thought they'd came back after they were beat by Clonmore, and then they then beat Blackwater Town. So they were going into that game thinking they were building towards thinking they were definitely going to be in a quarterfinal. So that was a big shock to our Rogue, and a great win for Newtown. So they've lifted themselves, and they're going to be ready for this. And it's a draw that I'm sure Newtown are going to be confident that they're going to get a victory. But they'll need to come with their best game to beat Thomas Davis, because their team, I was really impressed by the fight and character they showed against Clonmore down in Clonmore. I said they were lucky not to get something out of that game. But this is going to be a close game. This is going to be a tight one.
I was the same the day they beat Ballyhagen. I was really impressed with them when the odds were completely against them. But I suppose with Newtown, Mark, there's a talking point that I don't know if you've ever come across it before. It's Benny Davidson and Aidan Davidson. This is a father and son duo. I think they're both the top scorers for Newtown. I don't know how many clubs can say that.
I think there's too many can boast that one. No, definitely not.
It's a strange one, isn't it? I don't know. It's like something maybe happens at reserve level or something.
Yeah. Well, but fair play. If they're still, maybe Vanny has a chance to get into the Masters here if he keeps up that sort of form. But no, it's you have to just say for us, people working hard and doing what they have to do for their club. I know that Newtown, to be fair, in recent years have been low in numbers. They have been struggling with numbers at underage and amalgamating with teams. And even at senior level, I know that there's some people within the club would be worried that they that might be something that they might be looking at down the line. But I know there's a lot of good people in Newtown that will hopefully not let that happen, and they'll keep working. But that's part of it. There's some people that get to an age, they're going to keep going at it to keep the club afloat, and that's what's happening in Newtown, and fair play to them.
Yeah, definitely. No, fair play to them. I think I'm going to give them the tip here. I'm going to go with Newtown to get the win. How do you see it going?
I'm going to go. I've seen Thomas Davis, and I like the fight that they showed, and I'm going to go with him. I'm going to go with Thomas Davis.
So we've agreed one and disagreed one. So
yeah.
Good start to our predictions. On to Sunday then. This is a double header in the athletic grounds. I think it's 4 and 6 again of the times. Salmon and Ballyhagen to start with, Mark. Salmon beaten last year in the final by Derrynoose, and probably convincingly beaten, and Derrynoose have showed their quality up in the intermediate championship now at the minute. So they've bounced back this year. They've won their 3 group stage games over O'Hanlon's Clonoe and College Lawn, which was a good win for them to put them straight into the quarterfinals. So Salmon, you'd imagine they're coming in here. We talked about Thomas Davis coming in with good momentum and good confidence. someone's going to be the exact same, and they're trying to get back to the final again, like last year.
Yeah. Well, I've heard different reports about Salmon now. Very big and strong around the middle. Very big physical team. But the key to the Salmon is Matthews in full forward. You know, if you can get the ball in them, and if he gets his hands on the ball, he's deadly. You know, he's racking up big scores and very accurate. And you know, that's something Ballyhagen, I'm sure, will be going into this game knowing that he's the man to stop. But whether they can do that or not, that's another thing. Because most teams seem to be trying, but he still seems to be doing the business. So there's someone to me. This is the game. This is the big game. This is the big game of the weekend. Ballyhagen, they've been up and down this year. You know, they came second, but throughout the league, they'd lost a couple of games. You know, you'd expected more from them. But the McGrain back in there now is Hale McCormick. So they're coming along nicely as well, but they just would be expecting a wee bit more from themselves. Again, I've spoken to a few different Ballyhagen men, and they're telling me, you know, very inconsistent, you know, and how they're performing. So, but this is the perfect game for them. You know, that as they haven't been playing overly well, but this is a game they're going to have to really get up for, because if they don't perform on Sunday, the Salmon will definitely come away with a win here. You know.
And you mentioned the both top scorers. You have Stephen Matthews for the Salmon. He's won 21, I think, in the championship so far, and James McCormick from Ballyhagen, he has 419. So they're the two top scorers in the junior championship. So it could come down to a shootout between the two of them.
It could. There's a lot of talk about the two of them now. When you're talking to any of the junior team, you know, asking different questions about different teams, they're the two men that just keep popping up. You know, if you can stop McCormick and Ballyhagen, you can stop Matthews in the Salmon. But in saying that, there's more to these two teams than these two guys. You know, and as I say, the reports I'm hearing with the Salmon is how physical they are, how big and strong they are around the middle. Now that maybe played into their hands in the league format, because when you went to the Salmon, it's not a place that if you're big and strong in round the Salmon, you know, you're not coming away with much in the Salmon. They're going to get in round you. It's a small pitch, and that maybe work to their advantage. But as it opens up now in the athletic grounds, that may change a bit, you know. So you know, this is going to be, again, this should be a real tight match, and it really could go any route.
Who do you see coming out in top, Mark, if you had to call it?
I'm going to go with someone there coming in this. Well, maybe I know a bit more confidence and belief, and after 3 wins, I'm going to go with someone.
A club man of my own manages them, Jamie Lawrence, so I'll go with the Salmon there as well. For that one, but no doubt Ballyhagen, they'll put up a great fight, and it wouldn't surprise either of us if Ballyhagen come out on top there, I'm sure.
Definitely not.
The big one then on Sunday is Clonmore against Portmore. Clonmore, obviously league champions, the favourites for the junior championship as well. And Portmore, league champions themselves, they won Division 3B. But I suppose Portmore's coming into this one off the back of beating College Land. There'd be a big rivalry there, as we know. But College Land were one of the favourites as well. So Portmore's coming in, they have a spring in their step coming to athletic grounds.
Yeah. Well, I say I was at the Clonoe Portmore game, and I didn't expect. The last thing I expected was a Portmore win against College Land. And speaking to a couple of McGearys from College Land, they definitely didn't expect it. So that was a massive shock. That was a massive shock to College Land. The same time, fair play to Blackwater Town. You know, they bounced back. They got it was, you know, too bad. You know, our road beat them, ourselves beat them, and you know, they've bounced back. I know they made a few changes. I know Austin McKenna was flying last weekend, team of the week. I'm sure we'll hear about that. But yeah, Blackwater Town, fair play. They have regrouped. As I said, they made a few changes last weekend, and they came away with a brilliant win against their local rivals. So that was a great win for them. On the other hand, your Clonmore, that might add that might give Portmore a wee boost that they're coming in again against Clonmore. These teams are all in around the same parish, and they all know each other well. So that helps for Portmore to really raise their game. But if Clonmore are think they're the favourites to win the junior championship, they've got to take that and forget about all the local stuff and all the bragging rights and all that. They've just got to go in with a real professional attitude and just go in believing that they're the better team and go and prove it, and go and beat them. Don't get bogged down in all the nonsense and all the stuff that Portmore want to bring it all into. But they have a real sharpshooter in Grimley as well, who he'll rack up a few scores, and I can't see how Blackwater Town will back the last week's performance up. You never know. If they can keep it tight. Come the last 10 or 15 minutes, then yes, they're going to be in the game, and who knows what'll happen. But I still expect Clonmore to be too strong here.
Clonmore there, obviously, with Brendy Donaghy. He was going to be player manager, and I think he played a good part of the league, but he's injured now, so I think he's taking the reins as manager now. They'll miss him on the field, Mark, but I'm sure he's a shrewd operator on the line as well.
Well, if he's anything like he was on the pitch, he's certainly gonna be good on the line as well. Yeah, he would have been a massive boost, for Clonmore to give them. He would have just really give them the edge throughout. That maybe levels it all a wee bit, levels the sort of right through the junior championship, because I think if Brandy was coming into this fully flying, Clonmore would definitely have a step too much for nearly everybody. But that there has just brought them back down a wee bit, and you still you'll be expecting Clonmore as favourites. Should be coming into this game confident that they're going to get over the line anyway.
Yeah, I think we're both going for Clonmore here, aren't we?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll still be on to you. You have something to say about it. But,
he knows Amos good. He knows Amos good, so he'll be happy. Clonmore.
So that's the 4 junior championship quarterfinal games that are coming up this weekend. We'll be obviously previewing and reporting on all 4 games this weekend, and we'll be back on hopefully Sunday or Monday with another review show, and we'll have a few interviews from the games as well. Thanks very much to Capture Athletic for coming on board as our podcast sponsor for the duration of the championship. And Mark, thank you for coming on and giving us your thoughts on the game.
No problem.